Hello, welcome back to Reloading 101. In this video we're going to show you how to start reloading pistol ammo. First thing you need to do as soon as you get back from the range is take your tumbler out, take the brass from your range and clean them. This will normally take a couple hours. So my advice to you is while you clean your guns, have your tumbler going. Preferably in the garage because it's a little loud. So, once the brass has been cleaned, we are going to now resize and deprime them. One thing to look for when purchasing your dies is that they're either titanium nitrate or carbon. With the titanium nitrate and Hornady, you can see around the inner lip is this gray brown. With the RCBS carbon, you can see in this inner lip that it's real shiny and that it has this coat on it. I don't know if you can pick that up. That is going to ensure that you do not need to lube your brass and they won't get stuck. If you just have the steel, you're going to have to lube your brass. So look at it before you start and ensure that they're either carbon or titanium. So let's get started reloading some 38 specials. Now when you purchase your die set, you'll receive the 3 dies. This one is your resizer and deburr. This one flares the brass. This one will crimp and set the bullet. You'll also receive this. This is for your flathead bullets and you can change it out up at the top. You'll screw that out and put this one in. But this is not needed for this case. Now I'm going to show you how to seat your first die. The shell holder that you will need to pick up separate. This does not come with your die set, so make sure that you pick this up at the time you pick your die set up. Slide your shell holder in, and what you're going to do is raise it all the way to the top, twist this down until it touches, make sure that's loose. So it's touching now. You're going to take 1/2 turn, snug this down. It'll come with an Allen wrench and you tighten it. Once that was tightened, you want to break it loose, which might be very difficult, and snug it back down. Now your die is set. Now we have already cleaned this brass, so all you do, slide it in all the way, and it has been deprimed and resized. I'm going to continue that process until all that brass is done. I have now just finished resizing and depriming all my brass. Next step is to clean up. I'm just using a little paintbrush. Reason why you want to do this is when you are priming, you will have one occasionally that falls out onto the ground. You do not want to be picking up primers and checking to see if they're good or not. So it's best just to clean up now, so if you drop one, it's easier to find. Okay, the next step in this process is simply going to flare the brass. I'm going to show you how to set the die for that now. So we're going to just barely get it started. Grab a piece of brass, extend it all the way up. Then we're going to screw it down until we can feel it touch. So it's touching there. I'm going to leave that up. Give it one good turn. Right here. I'm going to flare it. And now I'm going to check the flare by putting a piece of brass there. And you can see this does not want to line up. So I'm going to screw it down about half turn. Flare. And repeat the process until maybe one half turn more. You can see that it's barely there. And you can see how that just barely fits in. We do not want to over flare because then it won't slide into the revolver. Before I tighten it up, I am going to test one more piece. That's nice and snug. Doesn't want to slide too far down in there. And now I'm going to snug it up. And you see how tight that is. When it's real tight, and just loosen this back up. Slightly twist it. Be careful not to move it. Snug this back up. And then tighten it back down. Give it another try. Make sure this is good. And now I'm going to do that to the remaining brass. Now since we flared the brass, we need to prime the brass. I am using the RCBS hand primer along with CCI small pistol primers. As you can see on the RBS hand primer, there's little ridges in the tray. This is to ensure that all the primers are flipped over in the correct position. So let's get started. Easiest way to do this flip them over. We're going to put the cover on. Ensuring that none is flipped over. On the RCBS hand primer, you want to use the white. It's for small primers. You do not need a shell holder. You're going to slide it in, squeeze. What you're looking for here is a consistent squeeze on each one. I'm going to continue on with the rest. Next, we're going to drop a powder charge. Using a funnel, I'm going to pour Winston Auto Comp in my powder charger. Now I'm currently going to leave it as it is because I need to know where it's set at. Right now it's 21.1, which is nothing near what we need. Looking at my reloading manual, I need to drop 6 grains. So with this powder charger, I'm going to loosen this. And then this, I'm going to tighten quite a bit since I was at 21. So let's see where we're at now. First time I run it through a couple times to ensure the correct powder charge. I'm going to weigh this. Currently at 3.8, so I'm going to loosen this up and scoop this out just a little bit. Tighten that back down. Tighten this in just a little bit. Five, 8. Now that I have it at the correct weight, I ensure that that's nice and snug so it's not moving anywhere. Grab a tray. Now continue with the rest. I've now finished up. Just a couple things to note. Even though I'm finished, you see the powder is above this bevel. Make sure that the powder is always above the bevel. It helps ensure an accurate drop. Now I'm going to show you what a double charge is. I've dropped powder in this one shell twice. Now you're going to take your flashlight and look in each brass, looking for double charges and spills. You'll see spills if there's powder around the brass. As noted before, I had a double charge. And you can see in this one, there's quite a bit more powder in them. Most of the time, it would overflow. Look for those signs. Now I'm going to show you how to set your seating die. This top knob controls the seating depth, and this will control the crimping depth. What you're going to do is back it out. Raise your brass. Until you can feel it tighten. Then you're doing full turn and tighten the nut down. That will lower your crimp. Put your bullet in. And from there, you might need to adjust the depth of the bullet. Once you're happy with that, lock it up. To test for a revolver, take your bullet, and you want the bullet to slide in easily to the cylinder. Once you're happy with that, break it back just a little bit together and lock it down. Just a couple of tips. If your bullet does not slide into the cylinder, it could be due to you have too much flare and the thickness of the shell is too thick for the cylinder. You haven't crimped enough to crimp the little bit of flare that you do have, or the bullet is too long. Do note that over crimping could ruin your case. In this case, this was a 357 Magnum, and I still had this die set for a 38 Special, and I ruined my case.